Hello and welcome to Monsterhearts 2. Goodnight, children everywhere. That news footage I just showed you was from the outbreak of World War II. Was part of the British evacuation effort to get the children based in the large cities out of the countryside. Tonight we're going to be playing a game of Monsterhearts that's based around that evacuation. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Gerwin. I'll be the DM. The MC in this instance. And we will be playing on the Gauntlet Hangouts tonight. That means we will be using some safety tools. Primarily, we'll be using the X card, which means if at any point during tonight's game something comes up that people are uncomfortable with and want to draw back from and want to move the story past, all you need to do is write X or write a quick note in the chat or make an X on the screen. So with that said, I'm going to go quickly into introducing the players and ask them to give a quick introduction of their characters. We're going to go from left to right. So first of all, Ryan, can you tell me about your character, please?
I'm playing Iris Carroll, who is the Fae. She is kind of mysterious looking with very quick, clever eyes, and is actually full-blooded Fae because she was swapped at birth. Should I go into siblings and whatnot, or are we going to save that for train cars? Oh, you're muted.
So I am. That's a recurring problem on this podcast. Thank you. We'll save that for the train car, and we'll go on next to Sarah. Sarah, can you tell me about your character, please?
Oh, you're also muted. Sorry.
Maybe? There we go. Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry about that. I'm Sarah, and I'm playing Muriel Wood. She is the Infernal skin in this one. I've chosen her as the last chancer, which means that this was her last option to be able to save herself and her siblings. She basically prayed to God, and it wasn't God that answered. She's looks frantic. She has flickering eyes. That's what I can remember from the skin right now.
So you say she's the last chancer and she prayed to God.
Yes.
Was her soul going to hell to begin with?
No. No, but she was desperate, so she basically made a bargain with whatever answered.
Brilliant. We'll go touch on into that in a bit more detail when we talk about your infernal master, mistress, creature, whatever. And now, Victor, can you give us a brief introduction to your character, please?
Yeah, I am playing Jeremy Sutton, who is the playbook's The Hollow. He's got kind of an earnest look, desperate eyes, and born of a wish.
Okay, so you say he's born of a wish. Was that by his parents? So who made that wish?
Yeah, I think it was by his parent. I think it was by his mom. I think his mom knew his dad wanted a boy, and they've had several girls before him.
Okay.
It was one of those, like, dad doesn't feel like a real dad without having a boy.
Excellent. Okay, so we've gone through and briefly introduced the characters and the playbooks you're playing. If you could just turn to the character keeper and have a look at the tab marked train cars. Okay, I'd like to ask you in turn to place yourself somewhere within that, within the train carriages that we actually have down there. So, Brian, can you please place your character somewhere within that?
I have done so.
Okay. Sarah, I see you've already done so. And Victor, would you place yourself somewhere within that? Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to go around asking a number of questions to people, and we're going to.
Hi, baby.
I'm going to go through and ask some questions, which we'll use to build up the relationships and to build up what's actually in the people in the train car. So, Ryan, first of all, your character. Why did you? What was it about Miss Carruthers that made you want to avoid the car that she's in?
She just has a way of looking at me like I've done something odd and I don't know what it is, but it seems like she's looking right through me in a way that I don't like. It feels like she's on to me and I don't even know what she's on to.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, Muriel. I'll start going by people's characters' names. So, Sarah, Muriel, you've chosen the side nearest the window.
Sorry,
What-
come again?
You've chosen the side near the window.
Yep.
Why? What makes you feel like you have to sit on that side so close to the outside world, as opposed to deep within the car?
I wanted to. I wanted to see the ride. I've never been outside of the city. It's a bit of an adventure. It's curiosity.
Okay. And Iris. Oh no, sorry, Iris was so Jeremy. You've chosen the car with the injured soldier in, Private Smith. What is it about Private Smith that comforts you so much?
Ooh, comforts me. I think it may be the impression I'm getting off of him is that he's really a gung ho type character. He's
Do you feel
doing
safe?
his part and then some. Yeah,
Do you feel safe with him in the car?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so expanding on that, how does that affect you?
I think I probably sit the way he does. I'm probably kind of maybe I don't know whether it's conscious or subconscious, but I'm kind of mimicking his mannerisms.
Excellent. Okay, so back to Iris. Iris, you're full-blooded Fae, but you were replaced at birth. Do you have any siblings that have joined you on this journey?
Yes, I've got two younger siblings, Rose and Poppy. We don't look that much alike, but I'm sort of a throwback. Mom says I look a lot like my grandmother when she was young. So, it's not weird.
Okay, can you put them in the same car that you're in then, please?
Sorry, was that me?
No, that was Iris, although I do
Oh,
have a
good.
question. I do have a question coming up for you. Muriel, there's a young, there's a one.
Yes. We're going to mute us.
Hello. Okay, Muriel, there's a young woman that sits opposite you. She is constantly banging her legs against the seat. She's constantly turning around to look out the window. What else is it that about her that annoys you so much?
She's very properly dressed, clearly from an upper class family. I don't know why she's behaving so badly. She should be enjoying this. Okay, you go see your daddy.
Okay. So, Brian, sorry, Iris, are you happy with your character's family being from the upper class?
That's fine with me.
Okay. So we'll mark that on there for all of them. Okay, Jeremy. One of the boys. There's a boy who sits in your carriage. He's quite young, around about 15. Well, he's about 14, 15 years old. He's looks dejected and lost. What do you do to either help him or to make matters worse for him?
I don't know whether it's making things better or worse, but I kind of give him everything that's been told to the children to buck up and do what your elders tell you to do, and see we've got a nice soldier in our carriage, and you should look up, and this is a good thing. I kind of give him that whole impression.
Okay, and what's his name?
Stephen.
Stephen. Okay. Stephen has an older sister. How does she react when you start interacting with him?
I don't think she likes how I'm interacting with him. I think she thinks I'm upsetting him.
Okay.
So I think she's making that, or at least trying to make that clear to me, and it's not sinking in.
Okay. And what's her name?
Katie.
Katie. Brilliant. Okay. So Iris. One of the boys getting onto the train got into trouble before the train left the station. As a result, he was forced to sit in the carriage with Miss Carruthers. What did he do?
He was picking just like a senseless little fight. Like Miss Carruthers was saying that tempers are running a bit high and everything, but you need to calm down, and it's no excuse for bad behavior. So he was just trying to get a rise out of the other boys.
Okay, and what's his name?
Names. Let's say Michael.
Okay. Hey. Michael. Brilliant. Muriel. There's a girl who shares your train car. She stands out from the other people on the train. Something about her is different. What's her name and what's different about her?
Her name is Gladys.
Okay.
And she's different because she's alone. Most other people here seem to have siblings or know somebody. She's older, she's quiet, she's alone. Just seems a bit odd.
Okay, so she's not actually talking to anyone. She's very much withdrawn into herself.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. I've just realised there's three NPCs I've not added to the seating chart yet. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. And there was Katie and Stephen, wasn't there? Okay. Okay. Who on the so that was Muriel, and then now on to Jeremy. Jeremy, who on the train went to the far carriage to get as far away from Miss Carruthers as possible?
I think we've got a Kenneth that went back there.
Kenneth, okay. And why did he want to get as far away from Miss Carruthers as possible?
I think maybe he's got something that he's not supposed to have. At this time, had they started doing rationing or anything yet?
Rationing was had just come in, yes.
Okay.
The Germans had started attacking the food convoys coming over
Okay.
with the declaration of war, but they haven't got to a very severe point yet.
Okay. Okay. So it's probably something minor, but he would probably not have people like see that he has something, or maybe he's sharing it with people and doesn't want caught. One or the other.
Okay, so children at this time aren't allowed to drink.
Okay.
It happens, but officially it's not allowed.
Cool.
Is he sharing alcohol with children in the far car?
Probably.
Okay. We'll say whiskey. Okay. So back to Iris. Iris. Miss Carruthers is although she's a slightly older lady, especially at this time to have the title of Miss, she's exceptionally beautiful. She's the type of woman that 1914 pinups are made of. Who's been giving her undue attention on the train, and where do they sit?
So another of the kids, or are there adults on here as well?
You can add an adult to it if you want. This train is carrying commercial passengers to.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how dedicated this train was to us.
There's several carriages, but this carriage is specifically going to one town.
Sorry, I keep going. Oh, I want it to be Private Smith, but he's already named.
Well, you can make it Private Smith if you want.
Because I like the idea of them having, not quite chemistry.
Okay, so how would you phrase that?
Probably Probably just that Private Smith is sweet on Miss Carruthers.
Okay. So, Muriel. Someone has snuck their pet dog on board the train, something that's explicitly not allowed under the rules. Who are they, and where do they sit? I'm afraid you're muted.
Their name is Theodore,
Okay.
and they are an 8-year-old boy. And I'm trying to remember where we are in the train car here. Come here. I'd say they're seated. I guess that would be next to me. That's
Okay.
why I noticed.
Okay. So, so what is Theodore's dog called?
Theodore's dog is called. Rover.
Okay. Okay, so what I will do is I will put what sort of dog do we imagine this is? It obviously can't be too big a dog because it would have
I'm
been.
kind of thinking of like, I'm kind of thinking of beagle puppy.
Brilliant.
Mostly because beagles are disasters.
Brilliant. Okay, so Jeremy, another adult came to the door to enter your carriage, to your compartment, saw Private Smith sitting there, swore, and then moved on to the one behind you. Who was he, or who was he or she, and why were they unhappy to see Private Smith there?
I'm thinking maybe it was his brother with a bad leg, somebody who couldn't
Okay.
help out the way he wanted with the war effort.
Okay, so what are we calling him?
Probably maybe Lucas. That sounds good.
Yep, that sounds good.
Cool.
A bard from service. You think he feels resentful towards his brother?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So, Iris. Someone has brought a musical instrument with them, and has sat on the seat directly in the carriage to the front of the train, and has been playing it loudly and very, very badly, despite Mrs. Carruthers' attempts to take it away from them. Who brought the instrument? What instrument is it? And what is the name?
Please say bagpipes.
Oh my goodness, a kid smuggling bagpipes onto this train? Sure, they have bagpipes, or at least a little like chanter kit or something. And
Okay.
I'll say it's Nicholas.
Nicholas, okay. Oh, can't spell Nicholas apparently. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so why would he have bagpipes? It's a very unusual instrument for a child to play. Is Nicholas a child, or is Nicholas an adult?
I think Nicholas is one of the older kids like us, but they're like his dad's bagpipes and his dad's off at war and everything, so he's clinging to them because they're his one thing. And Miss Crothers is going, that's nice, but could you please stop playing them right now? And he's not letting it go.
Okay. Do you? Is his father part of the military?
Yes.
And is he part of one of the Highland regiments?
Yes, also.
Okay. So that's Nicholas. And apparently I still can't spell Nicholas. Give me 2 seconds. Nicholas is not the correct answer. Okay. So Muriel. So when Michael earlier got into a fight with several of the some of the younger boys, well, several of the other boys, who was it you had a fight with, and what did you do to stop it?
I'm trying to remind myself who Michael is.
Michael is the troublemaker that is sitting
Michael.
in the cabin with Miss Carruthers.
He got in a fight with the other boys because he was claiming to know stuff about how the war effort was going and that his dad is a big hero, and really just kind of bragging, and it set some of the other boys off, who told him basically everything, like, oh, your dad is nothing, he's just a drunk, and
Okay. So did Michael actually start the fight, or did the other children?
I'd say the other children started the physicality of the fight. They could have let Michael go ahead and brag, but they didn't. I mean, he's a little at fault because he was really trying to be a big shot.
Okay. So who was it that Michael was fighting?
There was a boy that he knows from, I guess, home, school, whatever. His name is Bernard. He's maybe about the same size and height as Michael, but just didn't want to hear it anymore and slugged him.
Okay. And so where is Bernard sitting? Is Bernard forced to sit in the same carriage as Miss Carruthers and Michael? Or
Yes.
Is he... Okay.
So she can keep an eye on both of them.
Okay. Okay. So there's some of the children that have got on the train have come from upper class backgrounds. Some have come from lower class backgrounds. Some may even have actually been part of the local child gangs in London. 2 of these have actually gone to sit in the far carriage with, the far chamber with Kenneth. Who are they, and what do they have a reputation for?
You're asking me, or
Oh, sorry, that was to you, Victor.
Okay.
Jeremy.
I'm thinking, and I just had an idea come to me. I think they are a German or German descent. from a family that's lived in the city for a long time. It's just they've got German lineage and a German name. So Jürgen.
Okay. And what's the other one called?
And I would say probably he's got a sister.
Okay.
Erica.
Okay. Okay, and what do you imagine his last name is?
Name generators are the best. Let's go with Geller. Geller.
Okay. So one would be a cook and the other one would be a paleontologist.
What's that?
I was making a French joke. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Okay. So okay. So back to Iris. Someone has taken exception to the German twins in the far carriage. Who is it, and who's trying to round up a posse to go have a word with them?
It's definitely Imogen, one of the other upper class girls. She thinks that she knows everything and needs to round these German kids off the car, and she's just a brat.
Okay, and where does she sit?
She, unfortunately enough, is in the same car with them, I think, on the other side of the row.
Okay.
Like she saw that was an open seat, immediately walked back out, and then realized all the other seats were taken, so ended up there anyway.
Brilliant. So, hey, let me just put that into the table. Okay. So, Muriel, one of the peoples on the train's parents were killed only in the last few days by German bombs. Who was it?
One person?
One person or one family?
I'm going to say brother and sister. We'll make the brother Theodore, the one with the dog.
Okay.
And the sister Isabel. Isabel's 5, probably the youngest person on the car.
Okay. So, in which case then, why is Isabel in a different compartment to her brother?
Is there still room by Miss Carruthers?
There is, yes.
I'd say that she was kept with Miss Carruthers because she was very distraught, and just for Miss Carruthers to take care of her.
Okay, so let me just update that.
There's nothing so reassuring as being in a car with someone badly playing bagpipes.
As long as it is an Amazing Grace over and over and over. 1 second. I just forgot what I was doing. Isabel. Okay, so Isabel. Let me just add her. Okay. Okay, so we have sorry, Isabel was 5 years old, wasn't she? Sorry, Muriel, Isabel was 5?
Yes.
Thank you. just so I get my notes right. And Theodore is 8.
Yes.
Go. Okay. Okay, so we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats unfilled. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's right. Okay. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines left. Okay. So someone was on the. So that was Muriel. Now on to Jeremy. Jeremy. Someone was on the train. A young child. Well, sorry, a young child. A child who took an opportunity to actually slip out of the car and never came back. Who is he? And which compartment was he in? And why did he say he needed to get away?
I think his name is Noah.
Okay.
And I think he was kind of for the children, he's kind of on the older side. So I think he left because he was going to go. He said he was. I'm gonna lean on the war effort again here. I think he's going to go see if he can cheat his way in somehow.
So he was going to try and enlist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. And where was he sitting?
He was probably up in the front with he was probably in the back, in the very back, maybe next to Erica.
So he was in the back car rather than the one with Private Smith. Okay, yep, that's fine.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just trying to figure out which car you meant. Okay, so next to Erica. Okay, so how did he react to given that he was going to enlist? How did he react to sitting next to some Germans, as Imogen would have it, some of the Jerry?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. I think when I put him there, I hadn't that hadn't even crossed my mind. I think he was a little put out that he was sitting there with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was upset by that.
And how did Imogen react to that?
Imogen, let me look in.
Imogen was the one who was trying to round up a group to go and have words with the German twins.
I think maybe something she said kind of flipped the switch and made him decide to just at the last minute go do this.
Okay. Did she question his bravery?
Sure. Yeah. Why are you coming with us when you could be out there? You look old enough.
Okay. Would you say Imogen is very nationalistic then?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. So back to Iris. And Iris. Someone upset Rose while the train was being boarded and took something from her. Who was it and what did they take?
It's silly. They just took like a hair ribbon from her, but for some reason it's a big deal. And Iris told them off and said they need to go somewhere else. But yeah, it's an easy thing to conceal. The kid swears up and down she doesn't have it, but she probably does. And let's see here. That's a good name. She's Agnes.
Where is Agnes sitting?
She's back next to Private Smith.
Okay.
Probably figuring that sitting next to a big military kid means that the girls won't try to pick on her to get this ribbon back.
Agnes with one S or two?
One S.
Okay. Okay. So Muriel, you didn't want to be in this car originally. You got to the train midway through while it was being boarded, but you wanted to be in one of the other compartments. Which other compartment did you want to be in, and why did you want to be there?
I'm going to say I wanted to be in the car with Agnes, and can I make Agnes my younger sister?
By all means, yes.
But there wasn't room for us to both sit in the same car by the time we got on.
Brilliant. Okay, Jeremy.
Yes.
Every child that boarded the train and every child who lives in London was issued a gas mask. Someone took yours. Who was it? And how did they take it?
Let's say, let's see. I'm gonna say I'm gonna lean on one of the other characters that's already in there at the moment. I think maybe Kenneth did.
Okay. So what happened? Did he actually physically take it from you? Did he pick up yours instead of his?
I don't know. I don't know if he had one or didn't have one. He just said mine was his
Okay.
and took it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he offer you anything for it?
No, I think I had maybe my things or what little I had kind of sitting there next to me. I turn back, and he's like, "No, this is." He just kind of took it and claimed it was his, and I tried to kind of maybe insert that. No, that's mine. It's got my name in it, and he just took it. Didn't do anything about it, and I'm not assertive enough to maybe go to Miss Carruthers or anybody to say, hey, that's mine.
Brilliant. Okay. So Iris, Miss Carruthers has been giving you a strange look. Has she been given any of the children on the train similar luck?
Yes. Are we still fleshing out other kids, or do you want those remaining seats to stay open?
We can have the remaining seats stay open if you want. We've got quite a
Okay.
few NPCs on there, so
Cool.
It could be an adult.
True.
Just an idea.
I'm gonna say Lucas then.
okay. Now I need to try and remember who Lucas is.
Oh, he's the other adult that we've
Yeah.
established, Private Smith's
Yeah.
brother.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, there's a long list on here.
Yeah, it takes a second to scan.
Okay, so Miss Carruthers. Okay. So Muriel. I'm just trying to think of Agnes stole a hair ribbon from Poppy. What has she taken from Private Smith?
She's taken his snuff box.
Okay. Did you see her do that?
Yes.
Okay. Did she see you see her do it?
Yes.
Brilliant. By Muriel. Okay. Kenneth's been sharing the booze. Jeremy. Kenneth has been sharing the booze in the back car between people. Who in that car did he actually share it with? And was there anyone he didn't share it with?
You gotta look back at the names here. I think he shared it with Jurgen.
Hey. And was there anyone he didn't share it with explicitly?
I think he shared it with Jurgen before Imogen came in, and then the impression he's getting from Imogen, maybe he's keeping it a little more hidden now.
And how did Imogen react to seeing Kenneth actually share a drink with Jürgen?
I think that might be. It's probably why there is the blank seat between her and Kenneth. I think she made space there when she came in.
Okay.
Imogen sounded pretty nasty.
We all know an Imogen.
Yeah.
Okay. So Okay, I'm going to go around once more, and then after that we'll call that done, and we will take a short break. So finally, Iris. One of the people on the carriage has a touch of glamour about them that instantly attracted you. Who is it? And what feature is it that had that touch of glamour?
Let's see, I'm looking at our gender balance a little. I'm gonna say Susan, and there's something about her hair. I can't quite put a finger on it, but it seems like there's something glamored on there.
Okay,
It's a bit too glossy and too perfect all the time. And
okay, is Susan a new character then?
yes, I'm filling in that seat in Agnes's car to explain why Muriel couldn't sit there.
Okay. Okay. One second. Okay, Muriel. You'd like to sit near to the window on the train. At one point, the train goes through a dark tunnel. As you look at the reflection of the cabin in the pane of glass in the window, you see your dock master standing over the shoulder of someone in that compartment. Who is it?
Gladys.
Okay. Okay, and Jeremy. Someone in your compartment calls to you. You already find yourself mirroring the way that Private Smith sits, but you find yourself shifting into the mannerisms of someone else there. Who is it, and what is it about them that calls to you?
Let me look at the other characters here a second. I think maybe Susan a little bit.
Okay. So what is it about Susan that calls to you?
She seems to have a bit of presence with the others as we were getting on the train. She seems to people seem to kind of gravitate to her for some reason.
Okay. She has a certain je ne sais quoi.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Before we take the break, at this point, I'd like to ask people to do their background questions, because I've only just realised we've not done those yet. I did say I was new to this, so I need to write a sheet to remind me of all the things I'm doing wrong. So we'll actually go in reverse order this time, from right to left on my screen. Jeremy, would you ask the first of your background questions, please?
Okay, let me see. So the backstory spot
Yeah.
on the character sheet.
That's correct. There should be 2 questions there.
Yep. Okay, the first one is you've been taking your social cues from someone, and doing so has taught you a lot about them. And I gained 2 strings on them.
Okay. Is there anyone from the people we've discussed already you would want to have those strings on, or is there any character who would actually like to, or any of the characters would actually like to volunteer themselves?
Background questions have to be player characters, don't they?
Do they?
I don't know whether they have to, but it helps.
Yes. As I said, I'm still new at this.
Well,
Okay.
I asked with a question mark on the end because I thought that, but I wasn't sure if I just assumed it or if it's actually a rule.
It's a good assumption to actually build the dynamic, so I think in this case we will go with it. Who have you been copying the mannerisms of out of the player characters? Who here have you learned a lot about as a result?
I'm thinking Iris.
Works for me.
Iris, yeah, Iris seems to be something like me that doesn't seem to fit in, but for some reason fits in. If that makes sense.
Brilliant. So, Muriel, can we have your first backstory question, please?
Yep, I owe debts. Give away 3 strings divided any way you like between the Dark Power and the other characters. Question: Do I already owe? Does the Dark Power already have 2 strings on me because of the soul debt?
Let me just check the move. A second. No, I don't believe they do.
Okay, so I'll put 2 on the Dark Power.
Okay.
And let's see. How could have Jeremy and I come into contact somehow?
Are you from the same part of London?
Possibly. I guess maybe Jeremy and I went to school together, and that's why I sat Agnes by him.
Okay.
And asked him to take care of her on the ride.
Excellent. Okay.
Which baffles me for some reason, but
Okay. Iris, can we have the first of your backstory questions, please?
Well, it's not really a question as much as a statement, but I wear my heart on my sleeve, so everyone gets a string on me.
Yay, everyone. Okay. You can have strings. You can have strings. Everyone has strings.
Look under your seat. You've got a string. It's not the ribbon my sister lost, though. We're still looking.
I hear you like strings, so I put strings on your strings on your strings. Okay, so back to Jeremy. Jeremy, can we have your second backstory question, please?
My second one is someone's seen through your invented past and realized it's all lies. They gained 2 strings on me.
Okay.
I was gonna say Muriel, but that would seem kind of odd why she would put me in charge of somebody. So I may just say Iris. Iris can probably read me pretty good.
one unnatural creature to another.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So you've got 2 strings on you.
Okay, Muriel, can we have the second of your backstory questions, please?
Yep. Oops. Someone thinks they can save you. Gain a string on them. I'm going to say Iris thinks that she can save me. She can see or feel the dark power and thinks that she can get me away from it.
Works for me. So in that tunnel flash thing, did I also see the dark power?
I think that's an option. Yeah, we're in the same car.
I'm totally cool with it either way. I'm just
And
asking for
you
curiosity's
would have
sake.
been right across from Gladys.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you've seen it.
Okay. And Iris, we have the second of your backstory questions.
Everybody has so many strings on me, it's awesome. So I've captured someone's fancy, and I gain 2 strings on them.
Okay, and who is that?
Want to say Jeremy, but this is one of those questions where it's totally if it's okay with you, or if someone wants to call dibs on
Oh no, that's
my
fine.
fancy.
That's your choice.
Okay, then I have so many strings on you. Ha! I think I should have picked somebody else.
That's never going to end badly.
No, not at all.
I'm not petty or vindictive. Faye are never like that.
And finally, before we go to break, Muriel, you have a dark power that you owe a debt to. What is the name of that dark power?
Good question. I'm going to say that the dark power's name is, that I know it by, is Michael. And I'm under the, like, I kind of know that there's something wrong with Michael and that he's not an angel, but I thought he was an angel.
Okay.
And I'm just starting to suspect that it's not all quite as good as it seems.
Okay. So, Michael the Angel. Brilliant. Okay, so at that point, we're coming up to the hour. If people are okay, I'd like to take a break until 10 past. We'll do a little bit of role play until the end of that hour, and at that point, we'll end the session there, and we can pick up the story next week. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, short break until 10 past the hour. Hello.
Hello
I'd,
again.
I'd like to apologize if you hear any banging or shouting or anything. It sounds like my next door neighbors are having a bit of a major argument. So yeah, that it sounded like it got a little bit heavy a few minutes ago. So if it does kick off again, I may need to go and stick my head out the door to make sure everyone's okay.
No problem.
Anyway, we're just waiting for Ryan now, I think.
I'm gonna lampshade you guys again because I'm having food. I'm pregnant with twins, so I'm eating all of the time.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Okay. So is everyone back? So let us begin. The train sits. The train sits in its station. It has recently pulled into the small farming community of. Hello. Hello. Am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
Sorry, I thought I was muted for a second there. The train pulls into the small farming community of Branston Wells. As the train pulls in, you can see that they've got all the locals out to welcome you. There is a church choir there and a small marching band. And by a small marching band, I mean there are two people with a trumpet and one with a large drum. That look to be what remains of the local mines colliery band before most of them went off to war. As you come in, you can see these crowds of people waiting to welcome you. You can hear half-hearted music play up, and as they open the door to allow you onto the platform, you can hear the British anthem, "God Save the King." You're crowded out into the town square, and all the local dignitaries are there. The town mayor, who's a portly man with grey in hair, introduces himself as Mr. Foot. Next up, there is the Reverend Peterson, who gives a long, winding, and exceedingly boring, almost sermon welcoming you to the town itself. Next up, there's the school teacher, Miss Williams, who steps up to you and bends down to speak to each of you in turn, and pulls back to say how she looks forward to having you in the schoolroom, and how she very much looks forward to introducing you to the wonders of the country life. Oh, I know that you will all find this scary and unusual at first, but don't worry. Not all the cows will hurt you. You only have to worry about the ones with the horns. But don't worry, you'll get to know cows very well. You'll get to like cows and like the animals of the countryside. And I look forward to seeing you in our schoolroom in between your other duties. This little bit of a murmur goes up from the children, some of the other children. Other duties? And that's when the farmers step forward. Each of the local farms has sent a representative. Each of the local farms appears to be taking in children, just in time for the harvest. Well, that's convenient. There's a knowing look from several of the older children as they look around and look at their fellows. Eventually, a group of you are separated from the others and are taken to a horse-drawn cart to go to your billet. Those of you who are actually being taken in this cart are Iris, Rose, Poppy, Muriel, Agnes, and Imogen. You're taken to the cart, and you climb in. You're helped into the back. But you see the two Smith brothers make their way to the front, with Private Smith climbing up into the shotgun seat next to the driver, and manly hugs the man who greets him, an older gentleman, Farmer Smith. Eventually, the older man has to help his other son into the cart itself, because his brother's certainly not going to. And you can see the resentment between the two as the horse, a large Shire horse with beautiful skin, starts to clop its way up the cobbled streets and towards the farm on the outskirts of the town. Imogen is in the back of the cart with you. She looks relieved to be placed where she is. At least it wasn't with those bloody hands. You can hear her muttering to herself. And it's only then that she actually looks at the countryside around her. Nothing is new here. There's a lot of green. There's a lot of colours. There's a lot of fragrance in the air. She holds her nose up and... Pooey. Can anyone else smell that?
Iris sort of sniffs. Smell what?
Oh, that's horseshit. That has to be horseshit.
Could be cow shit.
That's disgusting.
What's disgusting about it?
What? Cow shit?
Well, we best get used to it. Still smells better than the factories.
Oh, you're a factory girl.
Gee, what gave it away?
Oh, well, the clothing for a start.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you brought something better to change into when we got there.
No, certainly not. But I figure I'm probably going to be mucking out stalls or dealing in the kitchen anyways.
Are you
Hope
planning to
brought
dress
some-
up? Oh, sorry.
Hope you brought something not so good because your fine clothes are going to get spoiled.
Oh, I'm sure I can find someone to help me with my tasks. She says that she adjusts her hair slightly. Oh, these hands weren't made for shoveling shit.
Well, you better hope they're made for something.
Sorry, go on, Iris.
No, Iris is just kind of watching, looking increasingly, perhaps unnervingly amused by this.
Imogen turns to Jeremy. What about you? Surely you're not going to be not going to put up with them using us as a slave workforce, are you?
Slave workforce?
Oh, come on. There are other people they could be getting to do this.
Everybody's supposed to contribute to the war effort.
Yeah,
Every-
there are
Can't
other
you do
people
that?
who were doing this, and they're off fighting now.
No,
What can be done?
I mean, surely, yeah. I mean, there's enough Jerrys we could round up that could get this all done for us.
Oh, Imogen, you can't do your part for the war effort?
Oh, honey, I will do my part for the war effort, and the local soldier boys will know it. I will send them off happy. And
Yeah, you know what they do with those girls, don't you?
Yes, I do know what they do with those girls, but I suspect you don't.
Well, I've seen a couple of them strung up, so good luck to you, honey.
Oh, well. Have you ever had a boy?
Certainly not.
You wouldn't know what to do with him.
And I'm glad for it.
Oh, darling. We have to do our bit for the war effort, remember?
My
Some of
Morale.
these have more than one use, though.
And Jeremy is not putting two and two together. You can see it. It's like, if you're not going to help with the cows in the fields, okay.
A lot of our boys are coming home. A lot of them are dejected from what happened in Dunkirk. We need to get their spirit up.
If you want to be some kind of fancy Miss Whore, that's up to you, but good luck here.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing my patriotic duty.
Yeah, by whoring, it sounds like.
Oh,
No,
no.
it's only whoring if you get paid. She's offering a free service here.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
I think that's a rung below.
I don't know. I don't know if it would even need to go that far. Just a little flirt here and there, and
You certainly have a very high opinion of your charms, then, I suppose.
So this is an open cart we're in, I assume. Yep. So what do the Smiths kind of like? Are they coming in with this?
I'm thinking this conversation's not done shouted. It's just a
right. But I mean, it's a cart. It's not the noisiest thing in the world.
Muriel would have said whore quite loudly.
The father turns and looks round. Is something the matter back there?
We were just talking about the cows and maybe working in the kitchen.
Won't be the kitchen for you lot. My wife runs the roost there. Doesn't like other folk in her kitchen. Scullery, maybe. Or out in the fields.
I'm handy with machinery. I put in just.
We're no strangers to hard work here, sir.
It's good to hear. With so many of the young boys gone off to fight, we need every hand we can round here. So he hands the reins to the injured civilian brother, which seems to annoy the military soldier considerably, and he slips over the back and into the back of the wagon and sits on one of the hay bales. So, what's your names? What shall I call you?
I'm Muriel, and this is my sister Agnes.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Agnes. And he pats her on the head and Muriel, and you others.
And I offer my hand and kind of start to. I'm Jeremy.
He takes your hand and he shakes it firmly. Pleasure to meet you, Jeremy. Sorry.
I'm talking over everybody. Sorry. I just kind of nod politely and don't offer a hand and say, I'm Iris, and these are my sisters, Rose and Poppy, and they're clearly identical twins of an age with Agnes.
Oh, they're your sisters. Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I assumed that I didn't realize that you were related.
No, I take after the other side of the family.
It happens. It skips some of them. If you look at my two, when they were younger, they were literally spitting images. These days, world apart. So, I hope the journey here has been okay. Have you had anything to eat yet?
Just some bread and cheese, sir.
Well, he reaches into the front seat and pulls out a little parcel wrapped with twine and what looks to be a blanket, and opens it up. And inside are cucumber sandwiches. I thought I would have something put on for you. You're probably famished.
Yes, absolutely. Muriel goes to reach for some sandwiches.
And Iris lets the twins dive for the sandwiches before she takes one.
Imogen just looks at them, reaches out, picks up one, and takes a little bite. But you can see the way she's doing it. She's not looking at the actual sandwich while she's taking the bite. And
I think
go.
I reach out and grab one, and I'm kind of watching her as I'm eating.
Okay. You can see that the young master, the younger brother, is watching her intently as she demurely eats the sandwich, a little nibble at a time. She puts her legs together and puts her hands on her lap and takes out her fan and fans herself. At which point he looks back onto the road, deliberately not talking to his brother. Okay, so the cart goes round several corners and up several lanes. It goes over several small bumps in the road, throwing everyone left and right. And this isn't a pleasant journey. Although the springs, the leaves on the actual cart itself, the suspension is antiquated at best. One thing you notice since you've got here, you've not seen a single motor vehicle since you've arrived. Everything has been horse-drawn. It's like taking a step back into the to the late 1800s. As folk from the city, this is disconcerting at best. You're You don't have the normal noises around you.
I think I mentioned to Muriel, yeah, this is definitely not like being back home with the factories.
Sure not. I'm glad for it.
Yeah. And half-hearted Sam, I'm glad for it too, but it's different.
Nothing worth bombing out here.
As you're going up the road to the farm that lies on the outskirts of the village, the bells of the local church start ringing. A few moments later, the bells of the other churches in the area take up. And a few moments later still, the sound of a klaxon fills the air from the town itself. Private Smith. It turns to the children in a panic. Right, everyone off the cart now.
They're bombing out here?
I don't know, but that's the siren. Everyone off the cart now.
I grab Agnes and get off the cart with her.
Iris grabs the twins and holds them off the cart too.
If I knock over Imogen, it's okay.
Especially if she falls in something.
Yes. If there's a convenient mud puddle, that would be great.
Imogen goes to the edge of the cart and waits for one of the men to help her down.
I definitely knock her off.
Okay. In which case, then, what I would like you to do, he says, looking for the actual sheets that he can't find, I would actually like you to lash out physically, please.
Okay. Okay, so that's volatile. And what are we rolling?
It's 2d6.
2d6. And you sent a rolling thing.
Yep.
Come on.
Have you used roll for your party before?
No.
Okay. What you need to do first of all is you need to get 2d6 on there. I will submit that. And you should see there's 2 red dice there.
I think this is one of these things for I don't know why my connection is not working like that.
Okay. Do you have 2 dice in the area?
Yep, give me a second. Dice. Sorry, have dice now.
Okay. Can you roll 2d6 and add your volatile, please?
That would be a 12 with the modifier.
Okay, so on a 12, you deal them harm, and they choke up momentarily before they can react. So as you push her off the cart, she stumbles and falls to the ground. She falls badly, and you can see that she's favoring her leg as she goes down. She cries out in pain. You stupid cow! Watch where you're going!
Oh, I'm sorry, milady. Haven't you learned how to get off a cart by yourself yet?
Not when I'm pushed. She tries to stand up and goes down to her knee in pain. Ah! What's going on back there? The Private Smith shouts.
Milady doesn't know how to get off a cart, sir.
He rushes over. Are you okay? Can you stand? She looks at him and nods and holds out her hand. And he physically picks her up and carries her with you all into the field.
And I think as everybody's off, I'm still kind of sitting on a baler or the side seat or whatever, still sitting in the cart, kind of watching what's going on with the people.
Okay. As you look around, you notice that in her haste to actually get, when she was knocked out of the cart, Imogen's fan has actually fallen. Fan and gloves have actually fallen off her lap and been knocked to the floor.
Agnes,
Okay.
get those.
No. This is Germany. No.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
just Jeremy. Okay.
I think I'll stand up and kind of I'll do like the regular kind of. Everybody else was rushing to get off this thing, so I'll just pick them up, kind of tuck them away, and step down, and just kind of walk behind them to wherever they were headed.
Oh, so you all get pulled into the field by the farmers, who hunker down behind one of the bushes there. You can see the private is scanning the skies, looking for whatever has set off the air raid sirens. He takes a moment and he stops and goes, "Look, up there." And a few moments later, there are small clouds of smoke and flashes that appear around one part of the sky. As you look up, you can see a single dot in the air. Just a single plane far in the distance. You can't make out any colors. You can't even really make out any shapes. But what you can see is the flak of the local batteries opening up and filling the air with explosions around it. The moments pass, and you can see a thin line of smoke fall from the sky into one of the fields over far in the distance on the horizon. Whatever they were shooting at, they've hit. Private Smith stands up and goes, "Yes! That's how you do it!" His brother just looks at him morosely. He is overjoyed. He turns to Iris and almost the dance in a jig, picks her up and spins round with her. Iris,
Iris yelps a bit because she was doing sort of the brooding hen, kind of attempting to shelter her sisters, as if that would help at all if they were to bombed, and was just kind of pulled away by someone and spun around.
He pauses. Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's all right. Just startled me. So
you can see this has actually genuinely lifted his mood. His father comes up and goes, "That'll be enough of that now, lad. Come on. I think that's it. Let's get back on the cart and get up to the farm."
Before we do, I cast him a reassuring smile, like, all's forgiven. It's totally okay. Sort of thing.
But you all board the cart again, except Imogen. Imogen is actually taken round to the front due to her injured ankle and lifted into the front seat. The younger brother, the one with the limp, looks at the full seat where he was formerly sitting and realizes there's not enough room for him there now. He grumbles to himself as he pulls himself round and pulls himself up into the back with you. Any of those sandwiches left?
Are there?
Yeah, they can be if people haven't stuffed their face with them.
Yeah, pass them one.
Yeah, I think each of the twins has two or something where they inhaled one and grabbed the second, but there's still one left in the bottom of the box.
He picks it up and starts chewing on it and casting dark looks at his brother, who now has started humming different patriotic songs that he was taught in the army. You make your way up to the house itself, and the house is an old manor house. It's well past its greater days. You can see that once this would have actually been finery. There was the old manor with, which would, at the time, it would have actually had a proper household. But you can see several outbuildings built off it. And it looks like only a part of the manor now is actually being used. The cart pulls into the courtyard, into the farmyard itself, scattering a herd of geese that waddle in front of it. And Farmer Smith stops and jumps down. Right, here we are. Everyone off. He goes over to help Imogen off, but the young Private Smith has jumped down and helps her himself. You can see that she's really enjoying the attention, even if she doesn't like the painful side of it. And she casts a knowing look back to Muriel. As she slips down in his arms.
Muriel mouths the word whore.
And she mouths the word prude back at you. You're led into the farm and introduced to the lady of the house. You can see there's a portly woman, a proper farmer's wife. She has red curly hair that's pulled back into a kerchief that she wears over it. Her face is very red and a little bit shiny. You can see on the counter as you go in that she's been cooking with port. And she has a very flustered look. As you step through the door, she turns to the farmer. You took your time. Well, are these them? And she rubs her dirty hands on her apron and she turns to look at you. Well, let's have a look at you then. Come on, into the room.
Iris kind of pushes the twins ahead in front of her with the hand on each shoulder so that they could not hide behind her.
Muriel and Agnes will step up.
She sees the younger children and she sighs. Eustace Smith, we had words about this. I told you not to bring any of the young children. They can't work the farm.
Ma'am, Agnes and I are quite accustomed to working. Agnes is a hard worker.
Iris says, looking pointedly at her sisters, and Poppy and Rose are clever, and they'll do as they're told with a "you will this time" sort of look.
The girls look up at you and they look petrified of this woman. Absolutely petrified. And she turns round and looks Jeremy over. Well, at least one of you looks like you're fit for the task. Young men, she turns back to her husband. Young men, I told you. And she picks up one of the kitchen towels and brings it at him. And darling, let's discuss this away from the children. And they both step out and close the door in the hallway outside, leaving you in the kitchen alone.
Do we hear them through the door?
You can hear them shouting through the door, yes. Well, sorry. You can hear her shouting.
Hear her shouting through the door.
You can't quite hear what he says, but you can definitely hear what she says. And she berates him in no uncertain terms. It's very clear who wears pardon the phrase, who wears the pants in this household.
Well, that's a warm welcome.
It's not like home.
Well, it's quite a bit like home.
You can see that Rose and Poppy are looking around the kitchen. In fact, they seem to be following their noses. They step over to the counter where there's a bacon tray laid out, a cooling rack laid out, with several cookies laid out on it. You can see them instinctively reaching to grab some.
Don't you touch those.
But
Not until she says we can. We don't need to make a bad impression right off the start.
But sis, I'm hungry.
You just had more sandwiches than anyone of your size could possibly need.
Yeah, but they were only cucumber.
And Iris has always, been kind of a easy child to keep. She doesn't eat as much as you might expect. Sort of like she's not entirely human or something. So she does not get this at all.
There's a bang from the door, from the actual corridor outside. And when you look back, when your attentions come back, you can see that several of the cookies have disappeared inside Poppy's pinafore.
Uh-oh.
Iris just casts them a glare, like there will be a reckoning later, and they had better expect it. I want you both to promise me you won't nick anything else while you're in here.
I promise I won't steal anything else, says Rose.
Good. Poppy?
She stands there with her hands clasped in front of her, kicking the floor lightly, and I promise I won't steal anything else.
Good.
While you're in here.
I just cast a look to Muriel, like she knows younger siblings. The long-suffering sigh of older kids.
Yep.
A few seconds later, the farmer comes back through the door. You can see there's a large red welt on his face. He sees you and sighs before forcing a happy smile to his features. Okay, children, let me show you where you're going to be sleeping. If you come with me and bring your bags. And he leads you up to the attic. As you go through the manor house, you can see that the carpets here once would have been described as grand, but they don't look like they've been used. The house doesn't look like it's been lived in, really. All the lived-in areas appears to be based around the kitchen and some of the bedrooms. But you're led up several flights of stairs. You come face to face with a dusty old stuffed bear that stands at the top of one of the staircases on a landing. You're led through several corridors where there are ancient weapons hanging on the walls. And finally, you make your way to the attic. The door, as he opens it, makes a loud screeching sound, as if it hasn't been oiled in a decade. And slowly he comes in and lights a lantern. There is no natural light in this room. Sorry, he lights a candle. There is no natural light in this room. You can see that there are several old beds, and this was probably the old servants' quarters for the manor house. As he leads you towards them, but the air is dusty, and there's a slight smell of mildew.
Muriel's gonna look over the beds real quick and look for the ones that might be the driest, the least the least mildewy, the least likely to have any kind of an infestation in them, and use her knowledge of not being high class to grab those two for her and Agnes.
Okay. So can you give me just 2 seconds? Sorry about this. I don't have the best layout here, I'm afraid. I need to get another monitor, I think. Okay. So You grab the beds closest to the door. As you look around further in the actual room itself, you see that several of the floorboards look to have discoloration on it, where you think water has come in through the roof, and several of those floorboards lay by the other beds, and you suspect that's where the mildew comes from. There isn't actually enough beds for everyone. There are only 4 beds.
Okay, in which case, Muriel and Agnes will share a bed.
Okay.
And Iris informs the twins that they'll be sharing a bed and then picks one for herself.
Okay. And so you are left with the final bed, Jeremy. How do you feel about that?
I don't think it bothers Jeremy at all. He's always been kind of the last to get whatever in his family. So,
Okay.
Does that mean that Imogen doesn't get a bed, or Imogen's been taken to another area of the house?
Imogen appears to have been taken to another area of the house.
Interesting.
And she does get up here. She gets no bed. Ha. I mean, if she does get up here.
You're taken down. Sorry, go on.
I think kind of at that moment, or sometime soon around there, I put my stuff down next to that bed, and I take that fan and comb or whatever that she had dropped, and just pull them out and set them on maybe a box or something that's up here. Just casually set them there.
Okay. You're called down for dinner later, after about half an hour. The meal that's put on the table is traditional farmers' food. It's best word you can use to describe it is hearty, and in quite generous quantities, considering the rationing that's been in place. One thing about maintaining a farm is not all of the food necessarily gets declared, and you suspect that may be what's happening here. One thing, though, is there isn't a great deal of meat. Most of the actual food is based around vegetables.
That's something Muriel and Agnes are used to. They pretty much dig in.
In fact, as you look around the kitchen, you notice that what you normally expect to be there, hanging meats, dry curing, other cuts hung up to actually store in the cold pantry, don't appear to be there. But you are led down to the table, you're led down to the dining room, which is just off the kitchen. This looks to have been the old staff dining room in the manor house before, rather than the actual main dining room itself. And there's a long, thin table there with several benches against it. As everyone sits down, it's quite obvious that this table is far too big for the number of people who are here. And it certainly makes it feel like that there are people who are potentially missing. Mrs. Smith sits down at the table with her aunt. She's changed into something a bit more presentable than her work clothes. And she looks over everyone as they've come down for dinner. You're only able to bring a limited amount of food for you. Has anyone, food for you, any limited amount of clothing for yourselves? Has anyone changed for dinner?
No.
I think that the Carrolls have, and they brought their most practical working clothes, which are still too nice for a farm, because this is not the sort of work they do, or any work at all.
Excellent. What about you, Jeremy?
I think I'm still in what I came in.
Okay. Yeah, as you sit down, Mrs. Smith the farmer's wife looks at you, and you can see herself shaking her head and sighing. Mr. Smith sits at the head of the table. His sons are to one side of him. Sat beside the private is Imogen, and sat opposite you on the other side of the table. She smirks at you as you can see that she's already had food picked out for her and put down for her. Not only that, you can see that in addition to her food, she looks to have actually got a little cup of beer as well. Whereas before you, there is only water.
I think I'm going to say, kind of get talk to the what was he, sergeant?
Private.
Oh, private. Have you seen many planes shot down?
He pauses for a moment, and there's almost a shudder in him, and he yes, yeah, I was at Dunkirk. I've seen many people lose their lives, and there's a sadness to the way he speaks, and I'd like you to gain a string on him, please.
Oh. I kind of respond, isn't that terribly exciting with that going on?
Exciting.
Well, I mean, it's not every day around here.
I'm just glad it was a Jerry that went down.
How could you tell?
Well, our guns were shooting it for a start.
Well, all I saw was it looked like a dot. It was so far away.
If it was one of our boys, he would have radioed for the local battery to stop.
And I'm beginning. The wheels are turning, and it's like, oh, and I'll just kind of follow up one question after the next. So, what are our planes like?
I'm a soldier. I don't get to see them up close.
Oh,
Can we change the subject, please? I'm sorry. This is. I don't really want to talk about the war.
okay. And then I just kind of trail off. It's like I don't know what else to talk about. It's like
Okay.
that was my conversation starter, and I just settled into eating.
Yeah, okay. So the father chips in. We've got to do grace before we start.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
He stands up and says, normally it's the man of the house that gives grace, but we have guests here tonight. So I would like to invite one of our visitors to bless this meal to Almighty God. And he turns to look at the three of you. Is there anything any of you would like to say?
Muriel will start a standard grace prayer that she knows from home. Like, I can't remember one myself.
Okay. You start to say the prayer, but you find yourself unable to say the word God.
Can she say Our Father? Or
No, any sort of reference to the Almighty, you find yourself pausing and stumbling on.
She mutters. She says, "I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've had a family to say grace around."
No worry, dear. Take your time.
Agnes, will you help me? And so we'd go through a standard grace, and Agnes would have to fill in the words.
Okay. She helps you stumble through, but you can see that your performance isn't exactly pleasing, Mrs. Smith. And at that point, you sit down to dinner, a hearty dinner, a tasty dinner, and the first of many in your new home. And at that point, I think we're going to call the session here. We've got to 11 o'clock. We have 3 more sessions planned. So I think we made good headway on the first of them. I'd like to thank people for playing tonight. I'm sorry it took a little bit longer to get set up than was the intention. That is entirely my fault. I should have sent out stuff earlier on, but thank you for putting up with me while I got that all sorted.
No worries.
Is everyone okay if I end the recording here?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.